lost initiative after a wild reverse robbery attempt where the band is back together and about to meet the man who gave us the job in the first place and hopefully get paid. So let's see what happens. Go right ahead, good old chip chewing DM.
It's like guacamole, I'm telling you. Blame Maggie. I'm blaming Maggie. So you people around the tavern are having a little buzzing conversation, so on and so forth, but you're goal oriented. You have a plan, well, you have a task. Or at the very least, Thonk Mom is not letting anybody leave the table until they finish eating their meal. So you're sitting around waiting for this meeting to happen. The hour that we originally talked about passes, and then a little bit more time, and then a little bit more time. And Forston hasn't showed up yet. It's been all in all maybe like an hour and a half or so. How are we feeling?
I take a deep breath. I sigh heavily. I push my chair out, and I say I'm going to his room.
In all the time that I've known him, has he ever been late?
I mean, you've not known him for much longer than everybody else, and no, he's not generally known for being. I mean, things can catch anybody up. Things can hold up anybody, but in general, no, he's not very known for being late.
Okay.
So yeah, I like I say, I'm heading to his room, and I start making my way up there.
So you go up to his room. Like as I said, it's like the one on the other side. You go over, I assume.
I'll give it a knock, and then I attempt to open it like I do always.
You knock, turn the knob. It's like knob turns, but it's locked. There is a lock on the door.
Any noise happening?
No.
Did you guys follow me up?
Hey,
Yeah, I did.
about now we roll up behind you.
I'll look to Grauman. I'll point to you and say, kick this door down.
Grauman kicks the door down. He's not even gonna take a second to think about it.
Without
He
even
puts the kick down the door. He's in.
With there being a door between Grauman and money, the door crumbles.
So the door just flies open.
Yeah, it bursts open, cracks in both the frame and the door itself has huge cracks inside of it. Nice big boot print on the face. And the door swings open and you see, very similar to your own rooms, plain, simple, empty room.
No body or anything, but it was locked from the inside.
It was locked, yes.
Any sign of the window being opened?
It was locked from the...
It was just locked. It could have been locked from the outside.
It was just locked from the outside, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the rooms that you guys are in are the ones, like, up towards the front are cheaper rooms that have, like, the internal locks as I had described to you beforehand, which is why Thonk is asking that. But the last two rooms, room 6 and room 7, have much nicer locks on them. It's better. It's more expensive rooms that one would purchase. So this one would have been able to be locked from the outside. Sorry for the confusion. Windows are closed.
I immediately start looking around the room.
Sure.
Like tossing, ripping open drawers, looking for something, anything.
If you're joining in, everybody's welcome to roll an investigation.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if Thonk's doing that, Grauman's also going to just start, like, ripping stuff apart.
Ryan's going to take upon herself to, like, step out of the room while they're doing this and go downstairs and speak to the bartender.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How did I roll that high? I have a -2.
What the fuck? You rolled 17.
I have a -2. What the?
I can't really reach anything, so I'm just sort of rummaging through what's at ground level.
Just looking under the bed.
Yeah.
Mind you, Grauman grabs the mattress and just rips it in half. Feathers everywhere. So you guys are searching around the room, looking, and trying to find stuff. Thonk and Addo finds nothing around the room. Grauman actually does find, so underneath the bed itself, he's able to move it slightly, and underneath one of the legs is a false cubby, like a catch, that when he lifts up, there's like a little cubby down there, but there's nothing inside of it. The room is empty.
He's like, oh, I found a... Oh, never mind.
No, Grommen. What did you find?
I like point and I show you, but it's like an empty cubby, like hidden cubby.
This room looked pretty
I can
clean.
almost fit in there.
Not quite that big, but yes, yeah. The room looks plain though.
It looks clean.
Yeah, I mean, it looks again, it's very similar to your own room.
All of his things are gone.
There's nothing inside the room. No, it was empty room.
I think
So-
we've been being boozled.
Rye goes downstairs to speak to the bartender.
Yeah, I just mosey on up to the bar, and in Shao, I ask him if he's seen Forster, or when was the last time he saw Forster.
Yesterday, shortly after all of you head out of here, so later on in the night, he left shortly after that.
And he hasn't come back since. Didn't say where he's going.
Not that I've seen. I can ask my girls real quick and see if any of them have seen it, but no.
Would you
And
mind?
so he does. He takes several minutes and walks around and talks to the girls while they're upstairs and there's rummaging. And he just kind of at one point in time like stop and look up there as there's a lot of clatter and banging and whatnot. And he looks up there and kind of looks at you.
I kind of just shrug. I don't know what that is.
He goes and asks the girls. He comes back and they say, "No, that it seemed pretty typical when he left. Nothing. He doesn't come back. Haven't heard anything. Nothing like that at all."
Right, just knocks on the bar twice, and she's like, just gives him like a thank you gesture, and backs away and heads back up the stairs.
Hey, Rye, if I hear or see of him, I'll make sure I let you know.
Right, just gives him a nod and a smile, and slinks back up the stairs.
Okay.
And,
I imagine as
relays-
you're like
relays-
approaching the door. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. My bad.
Oh, so yeah, I was gonna say I just kind of swing into the door frame, and I'm like, "He didn't come back. He left yesterday with just after we did."
As you're like swinging your way into the door, I'm like walking towards the door to leave, and I'll nod and be like, "He left. You're right. He didn't intend on paying us." And we have no idea or hide nor hair as to where that man went, and no way to track him down.
So I mean, I didn't kill that guard for nothing?
Wait.
He got it, or he got himself, right?
Correct, Grommen.
You're muted, Sorry.
That's fine. Sorry.
My fear isn't necessarily that he left. My fear is that he doesn't leave loose ends with what he's attempting to do and what he's and who he's dealing with. Leaving 4 loose ends not being paid would be too sloppy. My guess is that in due time, whether they be guards, whether they be other members of another gang, will be looking for us. Us specifically. They'll have our name, they'll have our likeness, and they'll know where we've stayed. Because if we know what he knows, and he doesn't plan on attending on paying anybody, then he'd be a little too sloppy to be doing what he does.
Otto has a little bit of a look of genuine fear now.
That's the first time I've seen that look on Otto ever.
Looks to Thonk. How long have you known this guy?
As long as you've known him. But just because of the people he's been dealing with and who he sent us to deal with tells me enough.
I need a drink.
Not here. We can't stay here anymore. We have to go.
Where we go? I've been here for months.
It's not safe anymore, Grommen.
But the room is free.
It's not safe anymore here. I look to Rye, probably the one that most understands the situation we're in. Perhaps you can persuade them.
Rye is kind of like deep in thought because Rye is aware that there are 2 like thieves guilds in this city, and if one of them has just been like
Removed?
removed,
Yeah.
the likelihood is the other ones are probably responsible. She's kind of trying to work out how to go about this. Was it the golden? What were they called?
The 7 golden swords.
The 7 golden swords. Yeah, they're like in Chi-Town too.
Yeah, they're the like the Yakuza from back east have come here and set up their own little fun guild.
So right, kind of like she looks up and she says, "I think I know who we need to see. It's gonna be dangerous."
Well,
And attempts to explain that there are two thieves guilds in this city, and one of them is nearby.
It'd be smart to think that we have been indirectly working for one of them, no? If we just removed one from power, and Forston has told me he is a middleman of sorts, that he would be hired by them. Do you think it'd be smart to go see that secondary thieves guild? Perhaps perhaps I'm being paranoid.
No, unless you want to not get paid.
I'd rather live than get paid.
Well, I mean, if we're loose ends, we're their loose ends.
Correct.
So,
I don't like loose ends.
Neither do they. We can attempt to talk to them if you know somebody there. Do you know somebody?
I imagine I could arrange a meeting, but I don't actually know anyone. But Rai could, she could reach out to a few people.
You have your peripheral connections. You have your peripheral connections that you could that you can contact. So
Thonk, knowing the information that you have just told him, Rai has told him, he suggests that while you set up this meeting, however long it takes, that at least the 3 of us, though he does suggest the 4 of us, get out of Shao-Town completely. If this other thieves guild is now attempting to take control, and that's what we were doing, we're helping them take control, and we are now their loose ends, getting out of their territory is important. So Thonk will suggest that the 4 of us leave Shao-Town until we have a meeting.
Yeah, I'm with you.
terrific. So where is it that you guys want to go? At least the 3 of you, if not all 4 of you. Where is it you want to go outside of Shao-Town?
All Thonk cares is just out of Shao-Town and then making a decision once we get out of the district.
Okay. So everybody casually walks out of a room that they just ripped the shit out of. And
Shutting the door, yeah, it falls apart.
hands
Yeah,
breaks.
Grauman's trying to hold the door and put that.
Just lean on the wall next to the room.
And you head back to your own respective rooms.
Gathering our shit.
Nonchalantly gather your shit up as fast as you can, and walk out of the place. Walk out of the place as nonchalantly as you can, and start booking it as down the street to get the hell out of here. So, do you travel together? Do you travel separate? 3 of you with Rai off to the side. What's the tactic?
Yeah, I think Rai would follow in tow, but I'm in Chi-Town because it's safe. I'm kind of wanted right now, so I don't want to just be just chilling down the street.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna try to keep my distance a bit because it's easy for me to spot my companions. They kind of are sticking out a little. There are orcs around, right, still, but I know what my friends look like at this point, so I'm kind of distancing myself, but still keeping within stride.
So if somebody notices you, you could just point at them and say, "No, they're the ones you're looking for," and then kind of run away. Is that the?
Well, more or less that, and just I think it's easier for me to blend in. So maybe just me separate from them is a little less conspicuous.
Yeah. I was just kidding. You wouldn't be able to reach up high enough to put a knife in Grauman's back. So, so you guys, the 3 of you at the very least, are making your way outside of Shao-Town to another. Is the plan here to go to that other slummy district you went to before, where you had encountered Zaris, or do you want to where is it you're trying to go? I know it's just outside of Shao-Town, but you have to have some sort of direction. So, where is it the 3 of you would like to go?
I don't know.
They're cleared out now. Those guys.
Yeah, I mean, we can head to that other slummy district. It's the only other place we really know. So, sure.
Well, Grauman knows about a really fancy bar on the other side of town. If you want to try to head there.
So we want to try and at least blend in a little bit.
So the cool thing with that slummy district, the one that we were just talking about, that when you go there, is that is where the more dense population of orcs and half-orcs are. So it would be easier for at least two of you to blend in a little bit more, even if one of you would not blend in quite as much. That'd be Addo. And I'm sorry, maybe I misheard you, Sam. Is Rye going with them as well or not?
Rye's going with them, but she's kind of taking her own route.
Of course, makes
and
sense.
keeping them in mind.
Okay, so you're going to other districts. You probably mentioned some bar's name or whatever over there for everybody to meet up. Is it a tavern that you would like to meet up at, or is it like a location, like a park, a tree? Like, where is it that you want everybody to reconvene, Sam?
Probably that tavern.
That specific tavern that you had.
Specific tavern where Gromuk trashed the place and beat everyone up.
Very inconspicuous. So you guys make your way there. You guys make your way to that tavern.
No,
I've got Grauman's picture up on the wall. Like, do not let in.
cheat.
Grauman didn't cheat.
Grauman didn't cheat.
I didn't.
So you go in and sit down, grab yourself. This place, I mean, it's the daytime, so it's not like it's crazy busy. There are people around. You can go grab yourself a spot to sit at, not by the dice table, and sit down, order yourself a drink. I imagine that even though she could have gotten there first, does Rye want to get there before or after them?
I think Rye makes a small detour on the journey to elicit a contact, and then meets them, because obviously that's going to take some time. So she sets just something in motion that she wants to meet the seven, and then she turns up late to the tavern.
Roll for me a persuasion check, please.
All right, let's do it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Dang.
That's amazing. So you go to one of your various contacts, probably not least you, but you go to one of your contacts and speak to them and be like, listen, we need to speak to somebody that's in charge, not one of the lower rung, at the very least middle management. And you kind of like work your way talking to a few different people, and you are able to get a meeting with one of the people that works directly with the Yakuza. So of this place. So not the actual leaders, I mean, let's be serious, but you are able to get a meeting with somebody of significance within this group. So
I give him like a small piece of gold chipped off from the nugget, just as like a bribe, just like to pay for his trouble.
sure.
And then I just show up at the tavern.
Oh, I forgot you have the giant nugget of gold in your bag.
We got to sell that shit.
Removing that ship of gold was actually very difficult for you to do. It was not easy at all. It was very difficult for you to do.
Okay.
But eventually you do remove the little chip and you give it to them, and you know it's gold. So you hand it to them, and they take the bribe and they set it up as quickly as they can for you, which with your bribe, they set it up for you tonight. So you don't even have to wait an extended period of time. So fast forward, you meet up with your group. I imagine you inform them of everything. I don't think there's anything in particular that you guys need to say to each other. So we can probably just fast forward to this meeting, yes?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So fast forward to where the meeting is, and you probably inform them that, listen, I understand that they are most comfortable in Shoutown. You don't feel very comfortable in Shoutown right now, so they're willing to meet with you on a border from Shoutown to one of the other districts. So they're willing to meet with you in a location over there. It's actually going to be in another shop, like a tailor shop, that's going to be closed because it's after dark. So they'll meet with you inside that location after it's long since closed and people have gone home, so on and so forth. So we're gonna once again fast forward to you guys making your way over to back to the bordering edge of Shoutown to this tailor shop, and like knocking on the door. Who is it that's going to be standing in the front? Who is it that's going to?
I'd assume Rye.
Yeah, Robbie at the front.
Rye.
She can actually speak Shao. I'm assuming these guys probably won't even speak Common.
Okay. So as you go and somebody opens up the door, some that you're not very familiar with, and they kind of look you all around and say to you in Shao, "Is this all of you?"
I nod.
You'll understand that we can't allow you to have your weapons.
Right looks back at the group, and as she does so, she unsheaths her short sword and just hands it out to the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And,
Gestures to like a small table or something, because they're not going to be able to take everybody's bladed weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So gestures to a small table for you to put it on, and when you put the sword on the table, kind of just gives you a quick look up and down, a quick pat down to see if you're hiding anything on you. Let me just roll that really quickly. So in case you have any daggers or anything on you that you intend to hide, let me know now. If you don't care to and you're just going to be honest and throw everything on the table, just do that.
he finds 2 daggers, and I let him take them. I'm just put my hands up.
Nothing that you're intentionally hiding or anything like that, no?
No.
So he lets you go in. Let you go into the when feels that large like nugget thing, kind of looks through, sees the large golden nugget, clearly is looking at that, looks at you, looks at that, see a mental check note go into his mind, and lets you go in. Next person will say, Thonk is the next person that goes up. Takes your mace and dagger. Mm-hmm. And your wicked looking dagger. Actually, that is your only dagger.
It's the only dagger I got, yep.
Okay, so takes it, puts it there. You go in, Grommen being next.
Grommen's like, I have to.
How many 100 weapons do you have?
Okay, Grommen like puts his giant great axe down. Then he takes out 2 throwing axes that he has, and he puts them down. And then he takes 4 javelins from his bag and puts them down. I think that's it.
Then he kisses his muscles like, you can't take these guns.
Yeah, he looks at his hands, puts them down.
Gives a quick pat down, no daggers or anything like that. And whatever it is, as long as you're not hiding anything, you go in. And same thing with Addo. Addo takes off his weapons.
Throws the rapier and the dagger up on the table.
Okay, pats down. Nothing's there. And you guys go in. So when you go into you're in the front row, he leads you through to the back room of this establishment, so that your weapons are not within arm's reach in the same room as you. You go to the back room of the establishment, and in there you see 4 other Shao men standing around. And one of them is clearly the one that's in charge, better dressed, better posture, leaner build, so on and so forth. And looks at all of you. Do me a favor, Sam, and roll I suppose it's a history check to know this.
Otto is making a point of it to look around the room and smile at everyone.
Well, Thonk is looking around the room, sizing everybody up.
God, daydreaming about that hot chick in the bar.
So you do not know who this is. So the person does step forward, introduces himself, and says, says to you first in Shao, I hope that I hope this meeting is worth my time. And then says in common to the rest of you, my name is Notenki. What is it that you want?
This is all in Shao?
Started in Shao, finished in common.
Okay, good.
Marin.
I kind of see if Rai's going to take lead here.
Rai looks over her shoulder at Thonk.
All right. I'll take a step forward.
She's a little bit scared.
That's fine. I take a step forward, and I just say the name Forston. I look to see if there's any reaction, if they say anything.
So the Notenki keeps a straight face, so you don't see an obvious reaction coming from him, and says, and
you've been dealing with him.
What is it that you want of me?
We did a job for him, and he's gone missing.
You 4. What were you doing last night?
We didn't come to discuss last night's activities. We come to discuss your middleman.
You came to spend your time as I want it to be spent. It can either be flapping your jaws or under dirt.
Biting my tongue.
Right,
Sounded
right
like-
gives you a dial it down. Though, before we die.
Robin's like, I was at a fancy bar and of the time I killed this dragon.
I have alibis.
Hits Grauman's leg, trying to get him to shut up.
Right on the wound.
What was his question again? I apologize.
What were we doing last night?
Oh, right.
Robin did say that unless someone stopped him.
I'll take a when he says that, I take a moment, take a breath, and I just say, indirectly working for you.
You were not working for me.
Then Forston wasn't working for you.
Dun 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 dun.
I do not want to keep talking in circles. Tell me, were you involved or were you not involved?
Right interjects and just says yes in shout.
Forston came to us for protection. Came to us so that he would not be found. Have you heard the news of what happened?
About what?
The chain reaction from last night. Have you heard the news of what happened?
I don't say anything.
I shakes his head.
I'm not here to play messenger either. You wish to meet with Forston? Very well. You can meet with Forston tomorrow night. He says somebody will be in contact with you on where to go and how to meet with him. Is that all?
Right, in Shao, she, realizing that if Forston's come for them for hiding, they were working for someone else. He says, who are we working for?
I will not repeat myself. And then walks out of the room with the other three that were in the room with you guys.
Wait, we didn't get to tell you the story.
Right curses in Shao and just looks at the ground as they leave.
I want to say something before they leave, but I don't know how to word it properly.
Do they want to hear the story?
Tell them the story about the dragon by time.
Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, you didn't hear the story. Otto tells it the best. Tell the story, Otto. Tell it.
You must hear it.
Yeah.
So is Gromit actually saying this stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
Oh, he is? Oh, shit.
Oh no, God, I will try and shut you up so fast.
I want to live. I want to live.
Yeah, we want to get out of this alive.
Gromit's fearless for more reason than one. All right, so do you say anything, Thonk, or no?
Who the? I'm trying to put it together in my mind. What purpose? So I'll before they leave, I guess I'll just like openly think, what purpose would Forston have in creating a power vacuum between gangs, if not to work for you?
One of the other people, not him, who's already walking out the door, as you're asking this question, says, you will get your answer when you meet with him.
The fact that you haven't killed him tells me you benefit in some way.
I cut Slunk off.
Ugh.
It's like the fact that you haven't killed him.
Yeah.
Let it go. We'll see him tomorrow. Just like that kind of.
Maybe. We may see him tomorrow.
Gromit sees the distress that Thonk's going through, and he comes over to Thonk, and for the first time he actually whispers, and he's like, maybe it has to do with the box.
Oh, it definitely has to do with the box. I'll nod. I give it a very... You're very perceptive, Grumman. I'll give you that. You're so insightful.
So sadly tonight it's not a very safe. It's not very safe staying anywhere because you still don't know who's looking for what, when, where, why, so on and so forth. So unless you specifically want to stay inside of a tavern somewhere because you want something more comfortable to do, I would say that. What's her name? Rye would be able to find accommodations for each of you.
Okay.
However, these accommodations are, well, this alleyway, you know, it's a safe alleyway. Nobody comes down this alleyway, and there's a nice little comfortable area on the ground. I mean, the dirt. I mean, it's comfortable. You could sleep there. You know, so she could find areas in the city that are relatively close to one another where you guys could stay, one hidden and two safe. You know what I mean? Like, where you won't get caught for the night.
Yeah.
Well, I think
that's right.
Rise Place is kind of nearby, so I think.
Rise Place is always an option. She's been intentionally avoiding it for quite some time.
I think Rye figures the best time to go to her apartment might be with the party as a whole, and so she offers it up as a place to stay tonight.
All right.
Sure.
So Rise Place it's actually an apartment. It's not just like some room over a tavern. It's actually an apartment. So when you go to the building that, you know, so when I say it's actually an apartment, when you go to a building where it's like, you know, there's a communal kitchen downstairs that everybody's able to share. There's like a communal restroom area that everybody's able to share. But you actually go up into her living space, and there's like a living room-ish area, and there's like a bedroom-ish area, as well as like a small little, it could be a closet or whatever the case it is. It's up to Sam, like a bonus small little room area that she has to herself. So it's actually kind of spacey. We're talking like 450 square feet. So it's actually a pretty spacey area for her. It's just in a really, really shitty part of Showtown, and she's been avoiding it for some time. So quite a bit of dust has settled in the place, and but you go there, and when you get there, first thing you do when you go upstairs or whatever is you see that the frame is cracked, as is a little bit of the door. It's like you had some supreme locks on it, but it clearly has been kicked in. So the door hasn't kicked in. You look around, and the place is disheveled, as though it's been searched. Immediately, you got to go over to like one area where you had some stuff hidden inside like a little secret compartment or whatever. You check that stuff is there. You know, whatever stuff you had before, it is still there. It's still safe. But like basic stuff around your apartment, unless it's valueless, it's been either broken or removed or whatever the case may be. So yeah. It is tossed up.
What happened here?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Are people looking for you?
Probably.
Well, they found where you live. Why are we here?
Right, like gestures Roman to come over to the window.
Okay.
And she points at the street, and in the street is like a drunk Shao man being urinated on by a dog in an alleyway. And she's like, "You can sleep there, or you can sleep there," and points at the couch.
I guess it's not much different from our other situation of being chased down by people, is it?
I doubt they're gonna turn the place over twice. We're good. She kind of like shuts the door, and it won't shut properly, so she like leans a chair against the front door, and she just kind of like dives onto her small bed and kicks her shoes off.
I'll
There you go.
kind of moving, kind of kicking things out of the way that are either on the ground or dirtying up the floor, and I'll gesture to Rye and say, "Rye, how many criminal factions are you aware of in this city? Outside of the two that we know
throws
of."
up two fingers.
With
Which
that,
two are they?
These two, like a peace sign.
Oh, okay.
it takes a minute to think. So if, what's the name of the people that we just saw in Showtown? The Golden Swords?
Yep.
All right.
7 golden swords.
Yep. Golden
So-
swords for short. Yep.
Yeah. So if the Golden Swords were not involved, who was Forston working for? The only thing that I can think of, though it feels like a stretch, is that he was working for somebody else within the Shadow organization, attempting to coup the current leader so he could take over. An inside job.
Would I know anything about this? Probably not, huh?
Sadly, no, and neither would Addo.
Yeah, I don't either.
Otto
I'm
stands
just.
on a chair. He was working for me the whole time.
God, I want to kick you out the window so bad.
Ryan throws her shoe at Addo's head.
Oh,
Grumman starts getting comfortable on the couch, like kicking up his feet
moreover,
behind his head.
they're talking about the Golden Swords are talking about the after effects of what we did last night. I don't. If we were like, he's grasping at straws at this point. It's very clear he's grasping at straws. But like, if on one building we ended up cooing the leadership of the Shadow Organization for an inside job, allowing some new leader to rise, and in the other building we placed a chest where maybe the Golden Swords keep their stuff, and whatever is in that chest destroyed or hindered them, we not only created a new leader, but we made that leader of the Shadow Organization even more powerful than the ones before him. But I throw my hands in the air in frustration. It's all just theories at this point.
Grumman's like straight up snoring really loudly now.
Otto's gathered a bunch of stray clothes and blankets and made himself like a little makeshift kind of dog bed in the corner.
You're like a cat.
I'm
Has to turn
sleeping
around
here.
4 times and then sits down.
Rye's like, not those knickers. Those okay, never mind. Those are soiled.
Roy just mumbles, "We'll find out tomorrow," and kind of like rolls over to face the wall. And yeah.
Thonk paces for a good while. Clearly does not like not knowing what's happening, and not having control is affecting him, but eventually he'll settle down.
So the night passes without incidents. Nobody bothers you. Nobody kicks open the door. Maybe all of you being a bit uneasy. I would say maybe even everybody sans Grumman wakes up at points in time throughout the night just with this uneasy or weighted feeling on them. Grumman, who rests easy because, I mean, he's not afraid of anything. And his snoring might be a part of the reason why you guys are waking up off and on periodically as well. So it's worse than when you were at the tavern and the walls were thin. So the next morning you wake up, there's a sense of unease between all of you and kind of what's going on. You know you have all the way until nighttime before something happens. The question is, do you kind of just kick it around this apartment using whatever supplies you happen to have on you to waste time and hope that nobody bothers you? Or do you actually want to venture out into the world for one reason or another between now and your meeting with Forsten?
I do not plan on leaving the apartment. I feel like that's a bad idea.
I think it's safe to say that, I mean, Ryan in particular is a little rattled by the events that have transpired and is kind of just waiting for like that clarity in the evening. Doesn't really want to go outside, just kind of brooding in the apartment.
I pull out a deck of cards and just start playing and invite anyone to join me.
Oh, Grumman's in.
I think we're literally just going to sit around until, yeah.
Awesome. Grumman, would you like to roll your sleight of hand check? Just kidding.
Grumman doesn't cheat. Of course,
that.
she
Oh
rolls.
my God, are you kidding me?
Oh, but Otto pulls it on top.
Otto saw it though, but he probably admired it.
Hold on. Both of you roll a perception.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're both cheating, but who realizes?
What? Neither of you realized both of you are cheating. Oh. Rye, are you watching?
No.
Okay.
Right. That'd be great if you were watching.
I have to roll like a 20, right, to see that shit, so.
It's still be pretty funny.
All right. Nope, doesn't see anything. Okay. So you guys are.
I don't know what I would have rolled.
The time passes. The day is very somber. It's not like you have a lot of. Even though there are travelers amongst you, you've never restocked to leave the city. So it's not like you have like lots of rations or something on you. So you kind of eat tidbits here and there. Maybe there's a can of beans, though that doesn't exist. Maybe there's a jar of
Pickled
jelly.
something.
Pickled something inside Rye's place that's got a bit of mold on it.
There's like a wagon out in the street, and he's selling like skewered vermin or something, or like grasshoppers. Deep
Yeah.
fried grasshoppers, and I like buy some and bring it up.
Iguana on a stick. Everybody loves it. So, so you guys pass through into the evening. You go to meet up with Forston. Now, again, you're all just kind of nervous. So just do me a favor, as you're all traveling to meet up with Forston, everybody roll me a perception check, just kind of like as you're making your way there.
Hey, hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, let's go.
Someone's alert.
I'm paranoid.
A lot of sleep last night.
Listen, Thonk is paranoid 24/7.
I would actually say that everybody except for Rye, and that's maybe just confidence in Rye because she knows the city very well and she's the one that's choosing the pathways you're walking down. But everybody gets this feeling like you're just being watched like the whole time. Everybody's getting this feeling they're being watched the whole time. But eventually, you make your way to where it is that the meeting is supposed to happen. It's at a different establishment. This one is a tavern that doesn't stay open till like the wee hours of the night, and it is now the wee hours of the night. So you go in to this establishment, and it's darker in there except for a couple of candles. And when you walk in, you see Forston is sitting at a table. As you walk in, he stands up, and there are 3 Shao men standing around like the periphs of the room, not really easily seen in the flickering light for Addo. Everybody else can see him perfectly fine. As they're kind of off to the side watching as you guys go in. So again, as you walk in, I think we're originally saying that Rye would go first. As you guys would walk in, you see him sitting at a table and stands up to greet you. Rye. And then everybody else, the order doesn't matter to me.
Right? She sees him and she immediately just goes like, "What the fuck?" And just like gestures like, what the fuck is going on? And then like kind of shuffles to the right to let the other guys file into the room. She doesn't sit down or anything.
So as you guys come in, does anybody else make any reactions before I start?
I walk
RPing?
directly toward him.
Okay. Addo and Grumman.
Hi, Forston.
Yeah, I walk in and are there are the places to sit when we walk in?
Yep. It is a tavern. There are seats and whatnot around. The place is empty, so it's
Okay.
dark, but-
I go sit down and I motion for a drink, and I'm like, "Where were you? Why are you here?"
It's funny. Grumman reflexively motions for a drink, walking into a tavern, but there's no bartender or anything like that working.
It's nothing.
and the one Shao man that happens to be sitting like at the bar just kind of like looks around like, am I supposed to get him a drink? Like, just-
I'm gonna give him
Otto-
an intimidating look, like, yes.
Otto
You know
looks
what?
at him like, "You better go get that drink."
Why don't you roll an intimidation? And Addo's looks like he's trying to assist you. So Addo's trying to assist you, so roll with advantage.
Oh.
Huh?
Should I just roll again then?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What was it? Intimidation, right?
Brahma needs a drink. Yeah.
The guy, kind of like, you look around like, am I supposed to get this guy a drink? He's kind of a big guy. And he does, in fact, reach over and grab a bottle and then gives like a quick little, like a whistle or whatever to get Grumman's attention and just kind of like hums it over to Grumman. Grumman has a high dex, don't worry about it, catches it easily, whatever bottle it is, and has his drink. So as you guys are walking over towards him, Forston's like, I know, I understand, I get the frustrations. Just hear me out. Things went beautifully. And then kind of like as Thonk is like coming straight at him, and Addo's like, hi, kind of nods to Addo's hi, and he's like, again, just give me a moment and I'll explain things. Just take a seat. Everybody take a seat. Does anybody take a seat?
No.
I like folds her arms and leans on the wall like angrily.
And Grumman's like, they're not very happy with you. I don't think they want to sit down.
I'm just standing next to Grumman.
Oh man, I think sitting down would make Addo look taller too. So So seeing that happening, he kind of understands and nods, and he's like, all right, I get your frustration, but hear me out. What you did there, it was a little sloppy, but it worked. It worked exactly as we needed it to. It was a little sloppy. So hear me out. The note.
Floppy. You never said it had to be perfect. You just said we had to get the box and the thing, and then the people had to get caught. Those things happened. The deal was a deal.
You were successful, and you will be rewarded for your efforts. I'm not denying that, and I'm not backing away from it.
Can I tell if he's like lying or not?
He seems to be defensive. Like he seems to be like defensive, like trying to convince you guys, like, listen, just calm down, hear me out. Like there's more to this than you understand, which is what Thonk was thinking the whole time.
I'm gonna put my hand on my throwing axe. Continue.
At
They
this
did
point,
not
Otto,
take your weapons this time.
at this point, Otto reads the room and realizes he's supposed to be mad too, so he kind of huffs up a little bit, folds his arms, and looks very cross at Forston.
So he says, the letter that you switched, it changed, as I told you, which rooms that they were going to be entering and the amount of money that they were going to be taking. That's all true. However, you have to understand that the rooms that they then were stealing from were rooms of Shadow Lords themselves. So they were actually stealing from their own masters, but they didn't know it. More than that, the letter was written by a particular person implicating her as the one giving the orders, even if the letter was actually about something else entirely, and this implication is being taken out of context.
As Forston's going on and on and on about this, it's going like right over Gromma's head, and he's like, what does that have to do with our reward? We did the things that you asked.
Gromman,
Weren't there.
Gromman, hear me out. Gromman, hear me out. So, she's taken the fall. The interesting thing is you knew Zaris. Well, Zaris wasn't the leader here. Zaris was the enforcer in the city. He was the go-to guy. He was the one that gave the direct orders to the other people, but he had somebody over him. And then he says, have you ever heard of Tipret Prexclavar? I'm going to say that again. Tipret Prexclavar. Have you ever heard that?
I like to imagine that Forston is having this much trouble himself actually saying the name.
Yeah, he like can't even fucking say it.
He is a half-orc, so it would make sense.
I've wrote a 4 on history, so that is a no.
Actually, it's funny because I was going to say, Rye, you auto-succeed.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep, you auto-succeed. Everybody else welcome to. And waiting on one more.
I know nothing.
Addo, so before I get to Rye, Addo, she is, well, she's a half-elf, you know. She is another wealthy person that lives in the city. I mean, she is not a merchant. She just happens to be of, I mean, not nobility, because this is Thesk. There's no nobility here. You just know that she's a wealthy person that lives in this city. Mm-hmm. That's just, she's somebody of wealth. Where that wealth comes from, whatever, it's not known to you. But you've heard the name, you've seen her around. She's beautiful. She's a half-elf, and she has been around the city for a while. She's probably in like her 40s or so, which for a half-elf is not as anywhere near as old as it would be for a human. So she's still relatively young. Rye, you know all that stuff, but you also know she's actually, like I said, Thesk is an oligarchy. She's actually one of the daughters of one of the oligarchs of Thesk. So she comes from long old money from old merchants from before. So she carries a lot of weight to her. But the important thing is that she's a nobody. She's, even though she's a wealthy person, a known name, and blah, 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 she has no talent. She's one of those people that's wealthy.
A figurehead.
Not even a figurehead, sure, but not even necessarily competent in like a meeting. You know, it's like listening to Paris Hilton droll on, like
Kardashian.
Yeah, at least the Kardashians know how to make money. Paris Hilton,
That's true.
you know what I mean? So it's almost like that. However, what he's saying is she was the guild master to this city. She was actually the one that ran this city, and the letter implicated her. So the way that this all worked out, and it worked beautifully, was that she was implicated in the thieving of her master's money, which makes it look like she was the one doing a coup, which isn't the truth at all. It was not her that masterminded this. She wasn't even aware of what was going on. She was only aware that there was a robbery because she had given the orders to give one. Then the message got mixed because of your actions. Again, you did well and you're going to be rewarded. I don't want you to forget that, like turning to Grommen, like, I don't want you to think that you're not getting your money. I've seen your prowess and I know what you can do. So just take a breath, calm down for a second, enjoy your drink.
Noticing Forsten's a little bit nervous about Grom in particular, also mentions, you've seen his axe too, haven't you?
Yes, turn into Addo. Still kind of, Addo's kind of like a, yes.
Just a labored yes every time.
So, like, Thonk will step in and say, if everything went according to plan, why did you go into hiding?
So we needed the implications to fall exactly where they're falling right now, and I couldn't be a part of it. I couldn't be stumbled across. They couldn't identify me. But more than that, it goes actually one step beyond that. Even though those that have been crossed are throwing the full burden of the weight at her, not everybody is easily duped. They understand that there is a chance that she's innocent and just incompetent as opposed to guilty. So they have their feelers out there trying to discover exactly what happens. And they think that they discovered what it was that happens. The problem is they discovered it wrong. And now a third party, an innocent party, is actually at risk. And so I know that I'm coming to you with a debt already owed, and I know that I owe you this money, and it will come to you once things are resolved. I just don't have it on me as we speak. I do have one more favor to ask of you, and then I swear, should things go well, as they have been so far, I'll be able to come clean with everything. I can even introduce you to who it is that's been employing you this whole time. But I do have one more favor to ask. I need you to defend this third party, these innocent people that are going to take the blame for my and your actions.
Why do you care about these innocent people?
And how do you propose we protect them?
So, first
And
of all,
he takes out his axe and he like puts it into the table in front of him. Also, when will we be rewarded?
One at a time, Grommen, one at a time. So, just to appease Grommen first, gold soon, very, very soon. To Thonk, he turns to Thonk and says, I'm sorry, what was the exact question? Sorry.
Why do you give a shit about these innocent people?
My entire plan, the plan this entire time has not been to have innocent bystanders get harmed. We wanted things to go so only the Shadow Lords themselves would take a blow, would take a hit. This is a family of high repute that is completely innocent, and for them to take the fall, for them to pay for our transgressions would actually set back the nation itself. It would actually throw little tidbits of issues here and there. It wouldn't cause as much of a blow to the Shadow Masters as we had hoped to do.
And how do you propose we protect them then?
To prove a point, even if they understand that those that they're going after are not guaranteed to be guilty, they're just assuming and they're trying to prove a point. So they're going to go there and they intend to kill everybody. Because why not? This is where things get a little complicated.
Grommen's like loose ends.
it's loose ends from their perspective, from how they see it, but it's not entirely true. Again, this is an innocent third party. So they are the lords or the people that control an area around a small town. They have a keep in this small town. It is not a very populated keep. The town itself, it's not like those people, at least I hope those people, and then it's like just coming to that realization, you almost see like a gravity like come down on him, like, oh, like, whew, I hope the whole town doesn't pay for this. But they're going to be sending a force to kill, at the very least, the family that runs this town. We need to somehow stop this force from doing so. And I don't think that they're going to be doing it in the cover of night with poisons in wine and the like. I think they're going to make it as messy as possible to really make a statement against those that would dare to touch their coffers. In short, you will be rewarded. But can you help me one more time, but this time to protect innocence as opposed to harm guilty?
Otto speaks up. Well, it's either that or stay in Rye's shitty apartment, right?
Right, absolutely agrees with that mentality. And she's not angry anymore. As she heard him speak, it made sense. And she was well aware that this couldn't just end at this point in time. It's too complicated now. There has to be some kind of resolution. And she doesn't want innocent people to get hurt either. So, yeah,
Fuck innocent people.
She nuts.
Oh, the temptation of having a powerful or family of some repute be murdered and have a power vacuum that's going to be fought for. It's just so tempting to just let happen for
Grauman asks
Thonk.
again, how do you propose we protect them?
We act as bodyguards, essentially, is my understanding.
Yes, but I think that they're sending a force too great for just the four of you to handle. So perhaps you could get there in advance if you head out soon enough and get there fast enough to warn them so they're prepared. Maybe, I don't know how it is that you could accomplish this, but I think that they intend to show up midday and make a scene. And at the very least, some people will survive, hopefully the whole town, to spread word of this. So it is known who did what and why. It's just, again, I can't stress this any further. I am not lying to you. And I want you to understand I'm trying to be as sincere now and try to bear it in front of you as much now as I can.
Well, how do we get there?
They're innocent.
Obviously, we've been following Rye around, slinking through these weird places. I don't know.
It's not in this city. It's not in this city, Grauman. It's a small town outside the city.
Well, how do we get there? And how will they know that not to kill us?
Wait, I think I'm a little confused with your question. How to get there?
Know how, how is this family? Is this family just gonna let us walk in?
This family doesn't know they're about to get fucking murdered, so they're not gonna kill us. We're just gonna show up and be like, by the way, you're about to get murdered, so come with us. We're gonna save you.
Yeah. But he's saying how it's basically, is there a way for us to, I don't know, initially, they trust us, right? Or they're just gonna be like, you're telling us that we're gonna get murdered and we don't know who you are, that kind of thing.
I can get for you. I have for you. No, I can get for you. I have for you a letter, and I know this is the origin of all of your problems. But again, this is something of grave importance and something you should not just open and read. This letter, should you give it to them sealed and they read it, they will trust what you say. They will trust you. I just need.
Why does it have to be sealed?
Because when you break a seal, there's tampering, and people don't trust the message therein. It's.
Grauman's kind of dumb, so he's like, oh, that makes sense.
They will trust us. The only thing I'm asking of you right now, beyond your help, is to trust me one last time. and you will in fact be rewarded for this, for the actions that you've just done and those that you're about to do.
And if we let them
Trust is
die?
not something so easily broken. But if I trust you, I'll be okay with this.
If you trust him, then you're a fool, but that's beside the point. What
I'm
happens
calling you fool. Look on his axe. That's sitting on the table.
And what happens if we let them die, Forston? What then?
Then you have already done your job. You deserve your reward. I will do the best I can to get the monies to me as quickly as possible to get them to you. It will take a few days. I'm not trying to threaten you here with not being able to pay you. It will take a few days. I will get it to you, and I will try to find another means to protect these people. But you have already proven yourself to be capable across the board. It's been a little sloppy here and there, but what do you expect? This isn't the kind of work that you were made for. So you would just be able to go and live your life, and I would try to find another means to do this if you just were to let them, if you were to walk away.
Oh my god. So many questions.
You're the only one not on board.
I know! What was in that chest?
I'm sorry?
The chest. What was in it?
Yeah, I'm actually curious. What was in that? And now Grauman's like playing with the tip of his axe.
I will not give you all the details, but I will tell you this. It was a considerable amount of gold.
All that trouble for gold?
It's more than just the coin itself. It's the meaning of the coin. Again, I cannot say anymore. I know that I'm asking a lot of you, but I also owe my allegiance to another. I cannot say anymore.
You owe your allegiance to them and to us.
I interjects and she's like, if we do this job, we get answers, right?
You get answers and pay.
Thunk?
We haven't gotten our pay from our last job, and you're to trust him this far.
You want answers?
You got paid for your first job, and it was only due to the immense success and what has happened thereof that you haven't gotten paid for the second job. You'll get paid for the second and third together.
I'll look to Rye at this point, kind of ignoring Forston, and be like, the temptation of a higher up family being murdered and a power vacuum being created is tempting. But I'll take a few steps back, but the decision is yours, not mine.
I'm saving him. With that, Rye just walks out the room. She just leaves the building.
Grauman puts the empty bottle down on the table, picks up his axe, and says, "One last time." And he puts his axe back in the holster and walks away.
Otto follows along behind Grauman, looks up at Thonk. It's gonna be fun. And then we leave.
Before leaving, I'll look up to Forston and kind of pull out my holy symbol and just place it on the table in plain view. If we don't get what's promised, I promise you the blessing of my God. And I'll kind of slowly drag it off the table and walk.
So he says that to you. Sorry, you say it to him, place it on the table. You say it to him, look him in the eye. Obviously, your threatening look and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Forston's not a meek person by any means. He's not the kind of person that begs. He's not the kind of person that generally gets put in this position. But here he is. He's in it. And he understands that he needs you guys. And so with almost like he wasn't doing, like before he was kind of pleading, but he still held as much of his own, I suppose, ego as he could before. Now almost beggingly or like pathetically, he says to you, it is a considerable force. This is not an easy task. I really do need you in this one.
I twiddle like just ever so slightly my holy symbol, and just a flash of a smirk as I turn and walk out.
Okay. And his head does hang like almost like he knows that as he's surrounded by, like, as you guys are walking away, him pleading for you to assist him, for him to owe you more favors because you've already done stuff for him and he already owes you. You walk to leave him alone in a dark room with 3 people that are mercs of a guild that he is not a part of, that he is now also in debt to protect him from all these actions beforehand. You can see he's in a very vulnerable spot, which honestly, in your minds, vulnerability usually equals
Weakness.
Availability.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we should wrap up. I mean, running a little
Absolutely.
bit over, so.
Yeah.
Good
Hey,
stuff.
thank you to everybody that actually stayed to the end. That was a surprise extra hour. I just want to say thank you. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, I apologize ahead of time we had to, like, throughout the stream, like, every 30 minutes, the Comcast would dip for, like, a few frames. We'd lose a couple hundred frames here and there. Apologize. Don't know why. Just is what it is. But it held steady pretty strong. So thank you again, guys. I appreciate it. We'll be back next week. And for those who were asking in chat, is it going to end in November? I mean, I'm pretty sure the answer is no. We'll just keep playing and past November. So don't worry. We'll go around the room. You guys say who you are. We'll wrap this sucker up and everybody can go to bed. Sam, who are you?
What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed that little sesh. My name's Strippin. I'm a broadcaster here on Twitch. You can find me pretty much every day at noon PST, twitch.tv/Strippin. Or you can tweet me about the show or anything else at Strippin on Twitter.
Heck yeah. Bear?
Hey everybody, I am Bear Taffy. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, BAER Taffy. I also host a podcast with this dude called Roundtable every Friday. The shows are going to be at noon Pacific through the rest of 2016. That's with
Yes, sir.
myself, Mathis, Northern Lion, and Rockley Smile.
Heck yeah. Maggie?
Hey guys, you can find me at Margaret Crone on all the places. I stream on Twitch regularly, as well as make all kinds of other content. I also work for NC Soft, so I make videos over there. So if you want to check them out, you can as well. And this was awesome. It's always a lot of fun. Thank you guys for bringing me in on it. And,
Ramen is super awesome. So
Yeah.
Ramen is integral.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think Gromit is the most successful, singularly the most consistently successful member of the party.
Oh
so
yeah,
far.
Probably.
without a doubt. Without a
No,
doubt.
I think it just makes like good things happen out of failures. Because I'll roll some bad rolls, but I just like try to come up with something to come out and get myself out of it.
Scott, where do people find you?
I'm still a nobody,
All right.
and you could find me on Twitter. So it's right there at Delric. So you can find me on Twitter. Feel free to ask any questions, whatever it is that you like. And I am going to say that when the VODs get posted up for these, probably going to be 4 different parts, there will be an additional 15 to 20 minute part on there with me and one of the other PCs that did not get posted prior to this stream and was not a part of the stream. So definitely make sure you go over to Mathis Games at YouTube to check it out and see what it is that we do with this other PC.
Heck yeah. And you can find me at basically all the socials, twitter.com/MathisGames. There's a link below this channel. You can go to youtube.com/MathisGames. The VODs for these are getting posted up there, usually the day after. And you can see my other channel at youtube.com/JudgeMathisGames. I do scripted review style stuff every couple of weeks there. It's super fun. Yeah, and I'm on the podcast with Bear down there. So thank you guys so much for coming by. It was super fun. We'll be back next Wednesday, 9 p.m. EST. And that'll be the whole month of November after next week, which is crazy. 1 month already done.
Is it? I think technically speaking, the week after that is still November. Is it like the 30th or something, right?
You are
We're
correct. You actually are correct.
Yeah,
So we got 2 more
yeah.
Wednesdays. All right, listen, I would get confused sometimes. So.
Hey, no, it's okay. I'm known for being right. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a great night, and we will see you next week. Bye.